All right, so I'm doing a video today in lieu of Guitar Review Day, Thursday. Maybe I'll do one later. I don't know. Depends on the time. I got a sick kitten. I got to take it to the vet. More money. So anyway, tube rectification versus diode rectification. And this conversation came up in a couple of emails over whether or not the which is better, which is worse. Not really which is better, which is probably better suited for certain things, and there really is a difference. You could have a looser bottom end, or you could have a tighter bottom end. Or, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I noticed that a diode rectifier sterilizes the music. And that's not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong, guys. It's not a bad thing. It's the sound of rock. Most of the Marshalls and most of the amplifiers of the time period were diode rectified after a while, and no one really noticed the difference. In fact, they made more records that were killer. So it's not a bad thing. It's a taste, kind of thing. And in my opinion, you should have in your arsenal of tube amplifiers, if you have one or if you care to. You should have a variety of amplifiers that offer different ways of manipulating the electrons, because an engineer will laugh at you and say, yeah, it's just a rectifier, man. It makes it into a different kind of voltage. What's wrong with you? Well, you know what? Those electrons are flying through space, and they're varied that way. Because of that, and they have a different feel. The voltage is different in one regard as opposed to another. And with a diode rectified, you've got electrons that are forced to go one way or another, and there's no other pathway. So, in my opinion, that power supply is somewhat more sterile, which in many applications is a great thing, especially for computers. You need a very clean power source, but in amplifiers, music's a little bit different. You have to allow that note to breathe, and I think the sum of all parts, being it tube rectified, the way the circuit is put together, you could go on to carbon comp resistors and all that other stuff, which is. If you want that, that's cool. Does it add to the tone? I don't know. I just know that the main parts, the output section and the power supply section, the type of iron or transformers that are in there, it's like cooking good spaghetti sauce. You could have ragu, and you can have Prego, or you could have Grande Mamas. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what it's about. So here I have for my 1968/69 JMP 50 watt lead circuit. Okay, so this is it at full rock and roll volume. And I'll turn down the volume on the guitar to about 3. Cleans up okay. JTM 45. So what does that prove? That I'm a lousy player, number one, and number two, that cabinet is really bassy. That's a 50 watt. it's 50. I'm sorry, the button didn't make. There's 45. Even that's better. So that's the 50. 45, you get a howl. On the edge of feedback. $50. So, I mean, it's kind of like, okay, the cabinet makes a difference, makes a huge difference. And I've got two different cabinets. I got a 1960 TV for the 50 watt, and it's a brighter cabinet. So that's part of what you're hearing. The JTM 45 has my home mashup of two vintage 30s and two 75 watts, but it's a flat B cab. And that makes a big difference, too. So I can hear it big time down here. So if I switch the cabinets, would it make a big difference? Yeah, of course it would. But you still have those characteristics of the sag. And it's not too flubby. I wouldn't call it flubby. If I were to add the second channel would be flubby. But I can't get to it right now because it's way over there, and I'm way over here in my comfortable chair. So let's listen to it one more time, now that you know the cabs. And this is the 50. Out of tune. JTM 45. See, it's already organic. And out of tune. Fucking goddamn it. I ain't got time for this fucking shit. I got a sick kid and it's got to go to the... I picked up the wrong guitar. I hadn't touched this in a week. Okay, so JTM 45. No, 50? JTM 45. $50. So anyway, it sounds like shit in my headphones. That's it. That's the JTM 45 comparison, and I apologize for the crappy playing because I suck. I so need to be in a band. I get rid of the suckiness. All right, man. See ya.